All right, welcome. So you're thinking about launching an Amazon FBA store in 2026? Then you are in exactly the right place. We're about to break down the exact blueprint that separates the sellers who crush it from the ones who, well, don't. Let's dive in. Okay, so you're gearing up to jump into the whole Amazon FBA world, right? It's a massive opportunity, for sure. But let's get real for a minute. Have you ever wondered why so many brand new stores just fizzle out almost as soon as they start?
Well, the story is almost always the same, isn't it? They run out of money way too fast, or they get stuck with a garage full of products that nobody actually wants. Maybe they just blow their entire ad budget and get crickets. But here's the crazy part. Almost all of these disasters trace back to one single, totally avoidable mistake, and that's just jumping in without a solid plan.
And the antidote to all that chaos? It's surprisingly simple. A clear, structured business plan. And hey, don't think of this as some boring homework assignment. Think of it as your personal blueprint for success.
So, what exactly are we talking about here? An FBA business plan is really just a roadmap. It's where you map out your product, your budget, and your goals before you spend a single dime. It's all about making smart, calculated decisions from day one.
I mean, this really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? On one side, you've got guesswork, which leads to picking bad products, constant cash flow nightmares, and just wasting money on ads. On the other side, you've got planning, which means data-driven choices and actually hitting your profit goals. It's really the difference between just hoping for the best and knowing you're on the right track. Okay, so how do we actually build one of these things? A really solid plan for 2026 boils down to 8 key components. Let's break them down one by one. These right here, these are the 8 pillars of your FBA business. Seriously, think of it like a checklist. If you can confidently nail down each of these 8 steps, you are going to be light years ahead of most of the competition. First up, goals. You've got to know what you're aiming for. And look, making money isn't a goal, it's a wish. You need specifics. Are we talking $5,000 a month in revenue, 10? And here's a super important number to keep in your head. Aim for a net profit margin of about 25 to 30%. That's after everything is paid for. That's the sweet spot, you know? That's where your business can actually grow and thrive. Next up, and you could argue this is the most critical step of all, product research. This is the one area where you absolutely cannot afford to guess. You need data. Tools like Helium 10 and Jungle Scout, they're basically non-negotiable these days. They help you find products with steady demand where the competition isn't totally insane. Oh, and here's a pro tip for you. Try to stick with simple products under 1.5 kilos. It'll save you a fortune on FBA fees down the line. All right, once you've found that golden product, you need a supplier you can trust. Now, platforms like Alibaba are fantastic. They're the go-to. But here is the golden rule. You have to follow it. Always, always get samples before you place a big order. Your quality control starts right there. Now, let's talk inventory. Inside your Amazon account, your Inventory Performance Index, or IPI score, is basically your best friend. It tells you exactly how well you're managing your stock. The whole game here is to set smart reorder points based on how fast you're selling, so you never ever run out of stock and kill all that sales momentum you've built up. The numbers. You have to know your costs inside and out. And I mean all of them. We're talking the product itself, shipping, all those Amazon fees, your ads, your software, list everything. And then, this is important, add a buffer for those oops moments that always seem to pop up. This step is all about making your product shine on the digital shelf. Getting into Amazon's brand registry is a total game changer. It unlocks something called A+ content, which makes your product page look way more professional and trustworthy. And of course, you've got to use keyword tools to write your titles and bullet points so that real shoppers can actually find you. A great product isn't going to sell itself, not on a marketplace as crowded as Amazon. For your launch, pay-per-click ads, or PPC, are how you get eyeballs on your listing. Focus your budget on super specific, long-tail keywords, and watch your advertising cost of sales, your ACoS, like a hawk. That one little metric tells you if your ads are making you money or just burning a hole in your pocket. And finally, you gotta plan for success from the get-go. As your store grows, you just can't do everything by hand. You'll need to use automation tools to help manage your ads, get those critical restock alerts, and track your orders. This is how you scale your business without completely burning yourself out. Okay, so we've walked through the whole 8-part strategy. Now let's get down to brass tacks. How much money are we talking about here, and what are the essential tools you'll need to actually pull this off? So what's the real price of admission here? I mean, how much cash do you actually need to get started? While looking at the data from sellers who've actually made it, a realistic startup budget for 2026 is going to be somewhere between $3,500 and, yeah, maybe up to $11,000. And listen, this isn't just a number we pulled out of thin air. This is the real-world cost to do this the right way.
So where does all that money go? Well, the biggest chunk is going to be your first product order and the ad budget for your launch. But it's so important not to forget all the other costs: shipping, Amazon's cut, and especially that emergency buffer. Forgetting even one of these can sink your business before you've even made your first sale.
You also need the right toolkit. And it's not about having a million different tools. It's about having the right tool for each job. For research, that means something like Helium 10 or Jungle Scout. For keeping your finances straight, maybe it's Seller Board. Just think of these tools as investments. They're what allow you to make smart, data-backed decisions instead of just flying blind. Okay, before we wrap this up, let's circle all the way back to where we started. Because knowing the plan is one thing, but knowing what not to do, that's just as important. These are the classic blunders, the traps that a good business plan helps you sidestep completely. From skipping the research phase to not tracking your numbers, every single one of these mistakes is a direct result of not planning ahead. This right here is why that blueprint is absolutely non-negotiable. So there you have it. You've got the complete framework now. You know the steps, you know the budget, and you know the pitfalls to steer clear of. The only thing left to do is to take all this knowledge and build your own personalized plan of attack. Now, if you're feeling like you want some expert eyes on this, the team that helped put all this together, StarterX, they actually offer free consultations. These are folks who have launched a bunch of successful stores, and they can really help you tailor these strategies specifically to what you're trying to achieve.
We've laid out the entire blueprint for you, the path to a profitable store. But the real question is, will you use it? Is your plan truly built for what's coming next in the super competitive world of Amazon?